Great stuff. Okay, sorry I wasn't here in person. The chief engineer and the DC were here to say hello. I was down the other end in a much quieter party. It's not as nice as this is all really. Anyway, welcome to our party here tonight and welcome on board the cruise. Did you enjoy Ireland? Yes. Lovely place. Was the Guinness nice, guys? Yes. Of course. Now, there's a little arrangement that we always have, and most of you will have heard this before, and that's that you're in charge of the weather. And we're in charge of getting to the ports and things like that. Now, what happened on that first night? You had a bit of a shakedown that first night, didn't you, really? A little bit of a hiccup. However, I will tell you all that because the weather up here is so unpredictable, that I do expect to see all of you in church tomorrow working hard on it, okay? But no, it's pretty good now. You've settled it all down. We're having a nice time. Heading at the moment across towards Greenland, the southern place of Greenland, called Cape Farewell. At the moment, we're 150, 200 miles or so southwest of this tiny little rock that's up in the North Atlantic. It's a British rock. Some of you have probably heard of it before, and some people said to me today, "Is there anything there?" No, it's rock all. It's out there at the moment, and we're heading across from that now, and we'll be outside of land for a couple of days now, picking up the Greenland coast. When we get there on Tuesday, really, we've got all day tomorrow at sea, and then Monday again is at sea. Monday evening, we might well have a little bit more rocky weather. It's looking fairly settled until then, but on Monday evening, then we might get into a little bit of bouncy weather, because there's going to be a storm coming across south of us, actually, in the Atlantic, and it's not going to bother us too much. But it'll bother anything that's down there, but not us as such, because we're to the north of it. We'll rock and roll a tiny bit, and it might get a bit breezy, but the wind will be astern, pretty much. So it's not going to be too much of a problem for us, but we'll move a little bit more than we are now then. And then we'll get around the corner and around to Greenland, and we will start making our approaches in the early hours of the morning. We are going quite quickly at the moment, faster than we need to go, because what we do is we go quite quickly and then we slow down in order to look out for the ice, because we've got to be very careful. There are some very big lumps of ice in there. And I will tell you now, I'll warn you now, if you like ice in your gin and tonic, just hold your hand out. I will warn you now that as it stands today, the port of Cockertock is not accessible by ships. The ice does move around a lot, and we will keep our eye on it, and we're monitoring it. We've got a chap on board who's Danish and sails a lot around here, and he's in touch with them whenever he needs to be, so we'll keep in contact and see. But today, at the moment, the port of Cockertock is not accessible. There's too much ice. So if we can move it, if you can move it, with the power of positive thinking, then it'll be fine and we'll go in, but otherwise we might have to miss it if it's too thick, because we can't take a ship anywhere where it's dangerous, obviously. The port of Nuuk, which is further up the coast and further to the north, is actually clear at the moment. There's no ice floe there at present, so we're all right for that. But we'll keep our eye open, and I'll let you know about Cockertock probably on Monday when we've got more information from the locals there as to what's going on. All right, so that's what we've got for you on Greenland. When we finish with Greenland, of course, we come back out again and back around the bottom, and the weather then looks quite settled for our passage across towards Iceland. And we're over there to Reykjavik, and hopefully the volcanoes won't be going off too much, but they are waiting for that big one to go, aren't they? But don't worry about that, because we don't mind volcanoes so much, really, as long as we're not underneath it and catching it up. The ash cloud doesn't bother us, so if it goes off, it's not a problem as far as we're concerned, but it will mess up, of course, all the air travel around the place. So hopefully that won't happen, but they are at the moment watching closely. But when we go there, it's a fantastic country. It is volcanic, obviously, and some spectacular scenery there. We have Reykjavik and a place called Akureyri the following day. And then we'll zip across the Northern Ocean then and take you to Norway for some fantastic scenery as well. Ålesund is our first port of call. We're working hard on securing a berth there. There's only one berth for cruise ships, and I'm not sure that we've got it at the moment. We may have to anchor in Ålesund, but if it is, it's a very short run. We'll just off of here. And then we're hopping around to Geiranger, which I think is probably the most spectacular of the Norwegian fjords. It's absolutely magnificent, a beautiful scenic journey in and out. So the journey in will start fairly early in the morning, but you can always watch it on the way out, so don't worry too much in there. And after that, Bergen. Of course. And you have got your work cut out for Bergen because it has the reputation of being one of the wettest places in Europe. So you've got hard work in store, haven't you? You've got to move ice and you've got to keep the weather nice. But I'm sure you're going to manage it, and whatever happens, we're going to try our best to give you a fantastic cruise. We've got some wonderful food and drink for you. You've already sampled some of that, haven't you? We've got magnificent entertainment. We've got some lovely ports of call, and we have a beautiful ship in the Aurora. She's really wonderful. Now, before I finish, I will just remind you that we do have a thing called the Cruise Programme, which is a customer service programme aimed at enhancing the customer service you get from the ship's company. There are about 860 of them. They're all here with one aim in mind, and that is to give you the best cruise that you can possibly have. You do have in your cabin service packs little cards that are there so that you can tell us about anybody that does something that's unusual, out of the ordinary, excellent service. And please don't nominate people for doing their job, because they all do their job. All 860 of them are wonderful. But if someone does something that's unusual that you wouldn't normally expect, that is a little bit above and beyond the call of duty, then please do tell us, because we want to know, we want to recognise them and reward them. Part of the process is recognition, and I'm not going to bring them all down here, because there's a whole tribe of these people who are our outstanding performers for the month of June, for giving excellent service and doing something that was a little bit special. I won't go into what it was, but they did things that were not required of them, not called upon, and they went above and beyond things. So please give a huge round of applause for your entertainment team who won last night. Okay, thank you very much. I think that will do for me. It's tea time. We haven't eaten for a couple of hours, so you're probably hungry. I'll leave you to that. Have a wonderful time and enjoy everything about the ship. She's magnificent. Thank you.